Manchester United are heating up this summer. Michael Carrick is closing in on his first transfer with 2 more deals already lined up. Bruno Fernandes shines after another award-winning season, while major changes are happening behind the scenes at Old Trafford. Stay tuned for the latest MUFC updates. Man United on brink of first summer transfer as Michael Carrick plans 2 more deals. Manchester United are close to completing a deal for a midfielder, with Michael Carrick overseeing a major overhaul. Manchester United could be set to secure Ederson as their first acquisition of the summer transfer window, having made significant headway in negotiations with Serie A outfit Atalanta. The 26-year-old was an unused substitute during his side's draw with Fiorentina on Friday evening, and following the match, Atalanta manager Raffaele Palladino confirmed the midfielder was edging closer to an exit. "It was a decision we agreed with the boy because there's something going on in the transfer market," he said. "The fact that such a player is being followed by such a big club should be a source of pride." It is understood that the club Palladino was referring to is United, with a deal between the two sides now thought to be nearing completion. Ederson had previously attracted interest from Atletico Madrid, though they subsequently shifted their focus towards Wolves midfielder João Gomes. A transfer fee of around £40 million is expected to be sufficient to secure a player who has just 1 year remaining on his contract, particularly given that Atalanta look likely to miss out on European football next season. Ederson has earned 3 caps for Brazil, but failed to secure a place in their World Cup squad this summer. He has featured in 41 appearances across all competitions for Atalanta this season, chipping in with 3 goals and 2 assists. United have previously kept tabs on him during his 4-year spell at Atalanta and are now ready to make their move as part of a wholesale midfield shake-up this summer. The primary objective is to bring in a top-class number 6 to fill the void left by Casemiro, with Elliot Anderson and Aurélien Tchouameni the front-runners for that position. At least 1 further central midfielder will be recruited, with a 3rd potentially added should Manuel Ugarte depart. However, United face stiff competition from local rivals Manchester City for Anderson's signature. Since his move to Forest from Newcastle in the summer of 2024, the 23-year-old has cemented his reputation as one of the finest young midfielders in the Premier League. When quizzed on whether the England international would remain at the City ground, Forest manager Vitor Pereira admitted last weekend that he was uncertain. The Portuguese said, "This is an answer that I don't have. The market is the market. Everything can happen. What I can say to you is the club wants to keep him playing for us, for sure. The club wants to keep the players. This is a very good group with quality, with character, and we are in a very good place for the next season." Bruno Fernandes wins 2nd Player of the Year award after historic Man United season. Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes has won another award to recognise a historic season for Manchester United in the Premier League. The Premier League have announced that Bruno Fernandes is their player of the season. Fernandes, 31, was voted the winner from a shortlist including Antoine Semenyo, David Raya, Declan Rice, Erling Haaland, Gabriel Magalhaes, Morgan Gibbs-White and Igor Thiago. He adds the honour to his Football Writers Association's Men's Footballer of the Year trophy. Manchester United's captain earned the nod after equalling the Premier League assist record with his total of 20. Fernandes can break the all-time high he shares with Kevin De Bruyne and Thierry Henry on the final day of the season when United visit Brighton and Hove Albion. Number 20 came in this season's last home match against Nottingham Forest, with Fernandes setting up Bryan Mbeumo for what proved to be the winner. The Portugal international has also scored 8 goals this term to help United qualify for the league phase of next season's Champions League. However, the assist record has understandably overshadowed his exploits in front of goal. Fernandes said after equalling the record in United's 3-2 win at Old Trafford, "I'm very happy for the assist and for the win and to finish the season on a high. I got to 20. Let's see. We have 1 more game. It's the highest I've done in the Premier League, so I am very happy with it." It is also higher than any other United player before him. Fernandes has surpassed the previous high of 15 set by David Beckham during the 1999-2000 season. Nemanja Vidic was the last United player to receive the Premier League's award for the 2010-11 season, making him one of 5 multiple-time winners. That campaign was the 5th year in a row that it went to a United player, with Wayne Rooney winning the previous season. The defender won for the first time in the 2008/09 season, after back-to-back wins by Cristiano Ronaldo. Fernandes has also matched his compatriot's record of 6 Player of the Month awards in a single season. Before Ronaldo's first Player of the Year success, United went 3 years without a player claiming the award. Van Nistelrooy took the trophy for the 2002/03 season. Their future interim head coach followed in the footsteps of fellow striker Dwight Yorke, who triumphed in the 1998-99 campaign. Peter Schmeichel was the first to win the award in the Premier League's second season, 1995-96. Ruben Amorim's failed England World Cup mission as super talent miles away from squad. Manchester United's Mason Mount hasn't quite managed to live up to expectations at Old Trafford, and he was unsurprisingly left out the England squad going to the World Cup this summer. Former Manchester United head coach Ruben Amorim had hoped to be the tactician to fire Mason Mount back into the England fold, but following the World Cup squad announcement, it showed that his efforts had failed. The former Chelsea star had emerged as a key player for the Portuguese during his ill-fated spell at Old Trafford, but following his sacking, he found it difficult to make his mark. The Red Devils qualified for the Champions League at a canter as a result of the turnaround under interim boss Michael Carrick. The former midfielder has since been rewarded for his short-term spell at United with a new 2-year deal. On Friday, Thomas Tuchel announced his 26-man squad for the forthcoming tournament across North America. The England head coach came in for criticism for some of his additions and absentees, while Mount missed out entirely with his last 3 lines appearance coming 4 years ago during the last World Cup. It was reported previously that Amorim planned to do everything he could to allow Mount to flourish and stake his claim for a place in the England squad. The 27-year-old was versatile at United under the former Sporting boss and was highly thought of by Amorim as a super talent, as well as one of the most underrated English players. Speaking in December after United's 4-1 win over Wolves, Amorim lauded Mount. He said, "I think once again, after we scored a goal, we were a little bit sloppy on the ball, and that gave a little bit of hope to the opponent. But we created a lot of chances in the first half also. We should have finished that half in the different way, and then in the half-time, they understood that we have everything to win the game, to win 3 points, and they did that." I think the pace, the quality that we showed in the second half, understanding that the moment of Wolves is really hard as a team, as a club, so we took advantage of that. Mount managed just 6 games during Carrick's temporary spell, amassing 126 minutes, while his only 90 minutes came in the goalless draw against Sunderland. The England international will have to use his versatility in order to fit into Carrick's system, with Carrick opting against the opportunity to use 2 number 10s, where Mount had found joy. A knock in February meant that he missed 6 matches, and the lack of minutes for Mount since was precautionary, with the club pushing to get him back to full fitness. Carrick said last month, "It's great to have Mason back, to miss him so quickly after we came in and came together. So he's obviously had, nearly 2-3 weeks of building up and finding his rhythm, finding his sharpness. So yeah, it's great to have him back." Manchester United could be about to do something they haven't done in 30 years. If Bruno Fernandes nets a brace this weekend, he will have helped his teammates achieve a feat not seen at Man United since the double winners of '96. We need to be really strong in the summer. We need to be brave. Ruben Amorim was clear in his message to the Manchester United owners when he spoke to the press in May 2025, with just 2 games remaining in the club's worst ever Premier League campaign. Little over a year on, Amorim has long been out the door, but the proof that his words were heard loud and clear is plain to see. Having scored a meagre 44 Premier League goals last campaign, United went all out as they looked to overhaul their attack, with Brian Mbeumo, Mateus Cunha and Benjamin Sesko arriving. Now, in stark contrast to last season's struggles in front of goal, the new attacking trio have placed Michael Carrick's side in a position to achieve a feat that has escaped every United team since 1996. All they need is some help from their creative genius. While that record-breaking assist will no doubt be on his mind, if Bruno Fernandes were to score twice against Brighton on Sunday, he would ensure Carrick's side matches the unique coup of Sir Alex Ferguson's famous double-winning team written off as kids 30 years ago. And it would perhaps show just how well the interim manager has done at getting the most out of his squad. The 1995-96 season began with little hope for United. Dethroned by Blackburn the season prior, Ferguson had sold key senior figures, Paul Ince, Andrei Kanchelskis and Mark Hughes, and with replacements only coming from the academy, success seemed a far reach. As well as the loss of experience, it was the huge slew of goals now missing from the squad that concerned fans. Kanchelskis and Hughes had each finished as the club's top goalscorer once over the previous 3 seasons, and Ince was relied upon to regularly chip in from midfield, while the season was due to start with Eric Cantona still serving a suspension for his infamous kung fu kick. On the opening day of the season, the Reds travelled to Aston Villa, with youngsters Gary and Phil Neville, Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt in the starting lineup, with David Beckham and John O'Kane also appearing off the bench in a sobering 3-1 defeat. That night came the soon-to-be famous line from former Liverpool defender turned pundit Alan Hansen: "You can't win anything with kids." "I think they've got problems," Hansen said on Match of the Day. "Obviously 3 players have departed. The trick is always to buy when you're strong, so he needs to buy players." Spurred on by Hansen's retort, Fergie's fledglings soon transformed into the most feared attacking force in the country. Rather than relying on 1 or 2 forwards, the team spread their goals out, with Ryan Giggs, Beckham and Scholes easing the pressure on the likes of Andy Cole and Cantona. United clinched the title by 4 points ahead of Kevin Keegan's Newcastle, and did it with 4 separate players reaching double figures in the league. Cantona, 14, Giggs, 11, Cole, 11, and Scholes, 10. In the 30 years since, even with the iconic quartet of Cole, Dwight York, Teddy Sheringham and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, the attacking diversity of 95-96 is something that has never been repeated. If Fernandes scores twice on Sunday, however, Carrick's side will join Fergie's team in becoming a uniquely versatile attacking force, which was precisely United's aim of last summer's transfer window. Sesko had already bagged 11 in the league by the time his season was cut short through injury that was aggravated in United's home win over Liverpool on May 3rd. And goals for Cunha and Mbeumo last weekend at home to Nottingham Forest saw all 3 prongs of United's new summer signing attacking line get to double figures. Fernandes is currently on 8 and may well have that all-time Premier League assist record in the back of his mind heading into Sunday's clash. Had Casemiro not been confirmed to have already played his final game for United, a goal for him would also have seen 4 United players reach double figures this term. If United want to be seen as a genuine threat in the title race next season, then they need the whole squad to chip in with goals. This season has certainly been a step in the right direction. Man United's actions speak volumes as they look to prove point to Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes has enjoyed a sensational season with Manchester United, and club chiefs have now turned on the charm offensive in an effort to keep him at the club long term. Manchester United chiefs have made their thoughts on Bruno Fernandes abundantly clear as they attempt to keep him at the club. The Portuguese midfielder has enjoyed a stunning campaign with the Red Devils this term. He has 8 goals and 20 assists in all competitions. That form that, having seen him claim a number of personal accolades, including the FWA Player of the Season. Fernandes received his award in a glitzy ceremony in London earlier this month. He was joined by Omar Barada and Director of Football Jason Wilcox, who offered their support to the United playmaker. It represents a huge contrast to 12 months ago, when United were open to cashing in on Fernandes. Saudi side Al Nassr had lodged an £80 million for his services, only for former boss Ruben Amorim to intervene and halt his exit. Speaking to Mirror Football after claiming his recent award, Fernandes said, "You feel like it's very tough, especially if you are at a club for a long time. Sometimes people want to see new faces, new people coming in trying to win and replicate things that were done in the past by other players. But I really feel the love and support from the fans every time I step out onto the pitch at Old Trafford, because they believe in me as one of their own, and I always try and replicate for them what they have seen so many times coming into Old Trafford. I just try and do the best I can to make them proud, while at the same time making sure we are as successful as possible." Asked if the target remains a trophy at Old Trafford, he added, "It will always be the prize for me. That's always what my goal has been. I've never hidden from that. As I said before, I'm not very good at hiding things. I speak out whenever I want on what I want to achieve. And what I want to achieve is winning the league and winning the Champions League. I will never hide from that in the same way I wanted to win the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, and we did it. Unfortunately for me, I was not able to bring the Europa League home, but I won't hide. Any time that we, as a club, are back playing in the Europa League, my aim will be to get that trophy. Obviously, going into next season, we all know that the aim of this club always has to be winning. I think in the first place, when a player chooses to come to Man United, it's not because you just want to wear the shirt. That's a big feeling, and it's a big thing to walk out at Old Trafford, and that was the dream I had. But I had that dream because I knew the club could win things and be close to winning the Premier League and Champions League. That's why I came to this club." Fernandes has 1 year remaining on his contract at United, albeit the club have an option to extend that contract by a further campaign. Michael Carrick's Man United backroom staff confirmed as decisions made on 5 coaches. Michael Carrick's Manchester United coaching staff has been confirmed on a permanent basis, with Steve Holland, Jonathan Woodgate, Johnny Evans, Travis Binion and Craig Mawson all handed new contracts. Michael Carrick's backroom team of Steve Holland, Jonathan Woodgate, Johnny Evans, Travis Binion and Craig Mawson have all been handed new contracts to remain in their respective positions on a permanent basis at Manchester United. Carrick has been backed by Holland, assistant manager, Woodgate, first-team coach, Evans, first-team coach, Binion, first-team coach and Mawson, goalkeeper coach, since his arrival on an interim basis. When Carrick collected the Premier League's Manager of the Month award in January, he paid tribute to his backroom team alongside the players for their contribution to United's run of impressive performances. The club believes Carrick's backroom staff possess a formidable mix of skill sets and personalities, and those who have witnessed their coaching at Carrington have noted there is a solid dynamic amongst them, reports the Manchester Evening News. It's understood Holland has played a pivotal role as Carrick's assistant. The duo have been seen in regular dialogue during matches on the touchline, and Carrick recently described his number 2 as a very wise man. Holland served as Gareth Southgate's assistant manager throughout his spell as England boss, guiding the Three Lions to 3rd place at the 2018 World Cup and runners-up in back-to-back European Championships. Before his stint with England, Holland accumulated several years at Chelsea, assisting the likes of Jose Mourinho, Rafael Benitez, Roberto Di Matteo and Antonio Conte. Holland and Woodgate have been actively involved alongside Carrick throughout training sessions. Woodgate's fluency in Spanish has enabled him to build rapport with Spanish-speaking players in the squad. Woodgate, Evans and Binion have all undertaken individual coaching with United's players. Woodgate and Evans have concentrated on the defensive unit, while Binion has made progress with the attacking players. Binion previously held the under-21 manager position, but he was elevated to assist the first team when Darren Fletcher served as caretaker boss. Binion's official title in the academy was Head of Player Development and Coaching prior to his promotion. The 39-year-old has long served as a bridge between the first team and the academy, recommending which players are prepared to take part in senior training sessions, but his responsibilities have expanded over recent months. Mawson was kept on as goalkeeper coach following Ruben Amorim's departure. The 47-year-old arrived at United in 2019 from Burnley, meaning he has also worked alongside Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Erik ten Hag.